Mr. Speaker, to the Premier, since I can't get an answer on the government vanity ads, I'm going to try a new approach. A recent big, bold headline read, Ontario nursing homes feed seniors at $8.33 a day. Mr. Speaker, does the Premier believe that is enough to nutritiously feed Ontario's vulnerable senior citizens?
Mr. Speaker, I know that the Minister of Health and Long-Term Care is going to want to speak to this. We have been working very closely with the Long-Term Care Association and with long-term care homes around the province, Mr. Speaker. There have been thousands more beds built, Mr. Speaker, and upgrades to beds across the province. We know that there's more work to be done, Mr. Speaker. We also know that given the ageing demographic, this is...
The member from Bruce Grey Owen Sound, second time, and I've got two others in my sight, and because of that, I might move to warnings, and I will do so if necessary. Please finish.
Mr. Speaker, 10,000 new long-term care beds have been built and another 13,500 have been redeveloped. So, Mr. Speaker, we know that there is more work to be done, and we will work very closely with the Long-Term Care Association as we move forward.
Thank you. Supplementary.
Mr. Speaker, back to the Premier. The $8.33 wasn't even the most shocking stat in that article. Mr. Speaker, do you know what shocked me more? I'll tell you. It was the fact that Ontario spends over $1 more a day on prisoners' food than it does on seniors' long-term care. More on prisoners
Chief Government
than
Whip,
seniors.
second time.
I know when it comes to a choice of who we're going to support, is it seniors or is it prisoners, I'm with seniors. It is unbelievable that this government has made this allocation. Mr. Speaker, why do prisoners eat better than seniors in Premier Wins Ontario? And I would like the Premier to answer this, please, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Be seated, please. Be seated, please. The member from Dundas, South Glengarry, come to order. And Stormont.
Long-term care.
Well, thank you, Mr. Speaker. And of course, the number that the Leader of the Opposition is referring to is our provincially mandated minimum that is required by long-term care homes to spend on raw food. And raw food doesn't include the costs which we fund separately for food preparation. It doesn't include the cost for serving the food. The menus that the long-term care homes prepare have to be approved on-site by a dietitian, Mr. Speaker. And in fact, we provide tremendous flexibility within the budget that we provide long-term care homes, $142 per day per resident, flexibility within that to allow for additional expenditures in raw food.
Thank you.
Speaker.
Final supplementary.
Mr. Speaker, again to the Premier. When it comes to government ads, there's millions of dollars to spend on self-promotion. When it comes to seniors, there's nothing. The Ontario Association of Non-Profit Homes and Services for Seniors is only asking for 33 cents a day. Prisoners would still be getting more than seniors. How is this fair? The lack of respect that we're seeing for seniors is unbelievable. They deserve so much better. And so no matter how the Minister of Health spins it, or how the Premier spins it, the reality is under their rules, under their allocations, we're taking better care of prisoners than we are seniors. These are people's fathers and mothers. These are grandparents. These are our grandparents. Is this, Premier, is this how you want to treat our seniors? Mr. Speaker, will the Premier stand up and say this is unacceptable?
Be seated, please. Be seated, please. Thank you. Premier.
That's some legacy.
Well, thank you, Mr. Speaker. Well, last year in our budget that they voted against, we increased the budget for raw food and the diet for raw food for residents of long-term care homes. We increased that by 3.7%, well above the cost of inflation, of food inflation, Mr. Speaker. But we're listening to our stakeholders, our partners in long-term care home, as they bring forward suggestions, proposals in advance of the budget, Mr. Speaker, both in terms of the quantum that's required for raw food, and I should mention that we have a line item in the budget called Other Accommodation, which is $54.52 per resident per day. All long-term care homes have the opportunity to draw on that $54 in addition to that we've put aside for raw food, provide, as they are mandated to, a nutritional diet for their residents, Mr. Speaker.